Welcome to Life and Love podcast, where we dive deep into beautiful, sometimes messy, and unpredictable journey called life. And of course, God being at the center of it all. Here we explore the stories, real talk, fresh perspective, and wisdom along the way. I am your host, Beno K. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Life and Love podcast. I am Beno K. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing my videos. And thank you for listening and watching. And today we are back with another episode, another interesting episode. We had done part 1 of this episode. So if you've not watched the other episodes, kindly go back, search for episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. Make sure you watch, make sure you listen, make sure you subscribe, you like, comment, and share. And yes, today we're still talking about emotional healing. I know we had talked about that, but we're going to pick it up from where we left. And I'm so glad that you tuned in. And maybe I noticed last time we didn't talk about how healing journey really looks like. And before we go ahead and talk about other things, we will talk about how healing journey really looks like. And maybe you can still share your experience, because I know our experiences are different. We are different. We face challenges differently, and we deal with them differently. We nurse emotional heartbreaks and aches differently. And before we even talk about the other things that we should do during our emotional healing journey, maybe we should talk about how healing journey really looks like. And this was my experience of how healing journey really looks like. I can say healing journey is not actually sweet. It's like the way you go to hospital for medication, and most of us, I know, we don't like taking medications. We don't like having medications. We don't even like going to the hospitals at the first place. And that's how healing journey looks like. That's really it. We all don't love healing journeys because they are tough. Sometimes they can be hard. Sometimes they can really hurt. And this was my journey actually. I cried a lot. I don't know what you did during your healing journey. My own healing journey was tough, guys. I cried. And I remember, just to share a little bit, I remember during my healing journey, I was trying to multitask, doing work, getting to understand work, and also healing, because it was really a tough season for me. And this is how my healing journey really looked like. For me, I cried a lot. I don't know how your healing journey was. I cried a lot, and I remember I used to cry all the way from Ngara to Ruiru, you guys, crying because I was trying to heal. And well, I didn't share much with even close friends. I know when they'll be listening to this, they'll be surprised when this happened. But yes, that's what happened. Healing journeys are tough. You can cry. Others have sleepless nights. Others try taking alcohol, or maybe, I know, but that one I'll call it postponing healing, because it doesn't really help, because after hangovers are over, you'll actually pick it up from where you left. So that's postponing healing. So if you're out there and you're trying alcohol as healing mechanism, I'll tell you it doesn't work. That's postponing your healing, and you shouldn't postpone your healing. So healing journeys are not really enjoyable, and I know we all don't like being in that position, because it is disturbing and it is uncomfortable. Healing journeys are the most uncomfortable things I've experienced in life. And so maybe we are going to talk about some few things maybe we should do in our healing journey, so that we will not postpone our healing journey, and we will make it as fast as possible. We all want to heal and get over the issues that are disturbing us. And yes, during healing journeys, we encounter triggers. And you should know how to deal with your triggers, with what triggers your heart. Not your heart like roho, like what hurt you. You should know how to deal with what triggers you. For me, guys, it was a name. And during my healing season, I almost every day I encountered a person with a name that when that name was mentioned, it triggers what hurt me. Like you're sending fare kwa gari and the name, well, I'll not mention the name for the sake of so many reasons. So when you send money, it's like in a letter, fulani, and it was so hard for me to heal because every day, maybe I could actually meet a new friend and ask them, I tell them I am Benoke and you are, they mention the name that when that name is mentioned, it triggers everything. So I came to understand that I cannot change people's names. Of course, yes. And it's not like I'll not meet anyone with the same name, and that happened. So I learned to control how that affects me, to control that trigger. I don't know what your trigger is. Maybe your trigger can be a perfume. Your trigger can be a place. Your trigger can be, I don't know, maybe a music. You loved listening to that music with someone, with that person who hurt you. And when you remember, when that music is played, sometimes it can even be played kwa matatu and it's not your fault. And when it's played, it triggers your emotions. It triggers that hurt. You cannot actually go to the production people and tell them to drop out that song. It will still exist. So what do? You learn how to live with those triggers. You know how to control those triggers that they will not keep on hurting you. Yeah? Know how to deal with those triggers because there are some things you cannot change. You cannot change their names. You cannot change the perfumes. You cannot change the music. But you can change how it affects your heart. Yeah? And maybe even during our healing journey, we can grow in emotional resilience, learn how to be resilient. And emotional resilience, it helps you know how sometimes to bounce back when you're affected or when you're triggered. Remember, we've talked about what triggers us. And emotional resilience helps you out in staying and keeping your heart in that state that you will not always be triggered when something happens to you. And emotional resilience, you cannot avoid pain, but what you do is learn how to navigate it with strength. You cannot avoid that pain. You cannot avoid it, but learn how to navigate it with strength. And this is how I can help you get strength. Of course, I'm a Christian. I'll always give you an option of prayer. And that's where you can really get strength that will keep you, strength that will sustain you in building emotional resilience. So guys, if you've been out there and you're hurting or you're in your healing journey and you need strength to navigate it through, I'll advise you that you pray. It doesn't matter if you know how to pray or you don't know how to pray, but that little prayer of just telling God to help you is a prayer enough for you to get strength, It doesn't have to be in tongues. You just pray how you know how to pray. Just pray how you know how to pray. And building resilience involves developing coping strategies and cultivating a positive mindset that helps you in dealing with future challenges or future emotional hurts with more ease. You can get to a point where you are hurt, but it doesn't take you 1,000 days for you to heal. That's how you know you're growing in emotional resilience. If something hurt you and you are taking like 4 months, 6 months to heal, and now you find you've grown to a point that if the same thing happens to you, you're taking less time that you used to heal. That's how you know you're growing emotional resilience. And I'll advise you, make sure you're growing. If I can hurt you today, if you used to take 1,000 days, now take 500 days to heal. I'm not telling you to build emotional resilience in a day. It cannot happen that way, but make sure that you're growing a step at a time, and you'll make it. Yes, guys, step at a time. So if you're in that journey of building resilience, don't expect it to happen just in one day or in 1 minute. Of course, it's a journey. Healing is a journey. As we said earlier, healing is a journey, and walk yourself through the journey. Do not postpone the journey, because the longer you postpone it, the longer it becomes. So don't postpone it. Still in our healing journey, I can tell us to guard our hearts. Guard your heart. The Bible says in Proverbs 4:23 that above all else, guard your heart, for there is the wellspring of life. Guard your heart above all, for it is the wellspring of life. I can tell you for sure, you cannot have bitter and sweet from the same fountain. It's either supposed to be bitter or sweet. You cannot have both from the same fountain. So if you have to bring out sweet, then your heart, where it comes from, it must be sweet. So you cannot bring sweet and bitter from the same fountain. And if your heart is full of bitterness, then in one way or the other, you'll find yourself bringing out bitterness. I know out there they say a sick heart cannot heal another sick heart. And somehow that's true. At some point, that's true. So if you're having bitterness and dealing with all unforgiveness in your healing journey, then know that you cannot give out sweet from a bitter fountain. So what do? We're not trying to regulate what is coming out, but we are trying to deal with the fountain. So the fountain here is your heart. Make sure that you guard your heart. And guarding your heart, it doesn't mean necessarily you block people from your life. That can be a way of guarding your heart, but guarding your heart is knowing what to take in and what not to take in. Knowing what to allow in your heart and knowing what not to allow is basically building a safe space for relationship and for healthy relationship and friendships to thrive in. So guard your heart above everything else, for there it's the wellspring of life. Yes, guys, so guard your heart. And maybe something else we can do during our healing journey is keeping boundaries and having boundaries. I know you can be kind and still keep boundaries. Keeping boundaries doesn't mean you stop being kind. That is one thing that I didn't know, and I've come to learn that I can be kind and still keep boundaries. I can be kind to you and still tell you no. I can be kind to you and still tell you this one, it can't make it. So you're kind, yes. I'm not telling you to drop being kind or stop being kind to people, but be kind and build boundaries. Boundaries helps you actually in guarding your heart. That's one way that can help you in guarding your heart. And boundaries helps you in making sure you can specify what you can allow in your life and what you cannot allow in your life. You can keep boundaries with families, keep boundaries with friends, keep boundaries with everyone else around you. Make sure that there is that point that it can get and you say, no, this, I don't allow this beyond this place. I don't allow such talks. I don't allow such characters around me. I don't allow such. You can choose to keep boundaries. You can still keep boundaries and still stay respectful, It doesn't have to be disrespectful. So keeping boundaries is not being disrespectful. You can keep boundaries and still respect people. You can keep boundaries and still be nice to people. And by the way, there is a difference of being kind and being people pleaser. There's difference of being kind and being people pleaser. So as long as you're being kind, make sure that you're not becoming a people pleaser. And people pleasers don't have boundaries. So if you're not having boundaries within the limits of your kindness, then that's one way to tell you that you're being a people pleaser. And maybe almost the last thing about what we can do during our healing journey. Make sure that you keep positive confessions. Positive confessions. This is one thing that helped me a lot, because during my healing journey, or in some things that hurt me or people that hurt me, there are people that said words, and they are like, those words could keep ringing in my mind almost every morning when I wake up. And do you know, what you say or what other people say, as long as you've said they are not getting into your heart, there is that subconscious mind, and it records it. And in one day or somehow it comes out without you knowing, and without you knowing where it came from. Just to recognize it was registered in your subconscious mind, and it's now showing up. So every day, learn how to keep positive confessions. That has helped me a lot. If people said you're this and you know you're not that, then wake up every morning and say, I know I am this. I know. Well, sometimes we think because we are hurt, we are so dumb. And you keep telling yourself, by the way, do you know I am dumb? Because actually, I used to tell myself that sometimes back. Like every time I wake up and I'm like, but the reason why these people did this to me, it's because I'm so dumb. And I'm like, no, I'm not dumb. I know I'm not dumb. Maybe the hurt, maybe I took part in it. Maybe I took part in my own problems. But even though I'm not a dumb person, I know I'm not a dumb person. I know I'm bright. I know I am kind. I know. Speak all those positive things to yourself. Even the Bible says that there is power in the tongue, by the way. There is power in the tongue, and that's true. And the Bible also tells us, you will declare a thing and it shall happen. So if you're declaring to yourself negative things, what do you expect? Negative will happen to your life. And if you're declaring to yourself positive things, then what do you expect? Positivity. So in our healing journey, let's try as much as we can to speak positive, to have a positive mindset, to have a positive state of the heart, and have positive confessions. Speak positive about yourself. If possible, you can write maybe down in your stick pads and stick it somewhere, and you'll be reading it every morning. You're saying, I'm this, like manifest. I've seen nowadays we call it manifest. Manifest that thing that you want to see. Manifest those characters, manifest everything that you want to see, make it positive, think positively, and have positive confessions in your life. So I know healing journey is not really cute. I know healing journey is not all lovey-dovey. I know healing journey can be tough, but even through your healing journey, don't hate yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself grace, but still, I'll insist, do not postpone your healing journey. So to all people out there that are in this tough journey called healing journey, I pray for grace for you, that you'll make it and that you'll not die there. If possible, talk to someone. If it's not possible, talk to God. I'll tell you that God listens and it really helps. So we've talked about that. You can go and watch the last episode about emotional healing. We talked about allowing God. And so if you're in that journey, I'll tell you, don't give up, don't die there. Just embrace yourself, love yourself more, And most importantly, make sure that when you're coming out of that journey, you've learned. Make sure that you've learned and embrace those lessons so that you'll not go through the same thing that you went through. Well, I know sometimes you never learn, but make sure you learn. And so thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you are here, and see you in the next episode. Bye.